under retired High Court Judge S. Murthy to probe the 8 January stampede in Tirupati. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin says Iron Age began from the land of the Tamils, weeks after announcing $1 million prize for deciphering the Indus Valley script. A controversy has erupted in Tirupati in Tamil Nadu over Muslim organizations carrying livestock to sacrifice at the Sikandar Badusha Dargah. Hindu groups protest, call it a sacred Hindu site. Mpox scare in Bengaluru. 40-year-old man tests positive. WHO declares Mpox a public health emergency. Karnataka High Court stays any coercive action against C.T. Ravi until 30th of January over allegations of using obscene language against Lakshmi Hebalkar. Scenes of a dramatic robbery caught on CCTV in Bengaluru. 2 miscreants break car window and steal valuables which are kept inside. A case has been registered. Amazon Web Services, that is AWS, to invest rupees 60,000 crores for building new data centers in Telangana. Let's tell you what's in store in the South Indian today. A very important story, of course. The first story, a report reveals anxiety and stress grips workforce in Indian corporates. What's the real story? Coming up next, author and activist Rahul Easwar demands a National Men's Commission. Political story of the day, rift in Karnataka BJP Widens. Former Minister B. Sriramulu threatens to quit the party. And the horrific murder in Telangana, woman killed, chopped into several pieces and also cooked in a pressure cooker. And how a row has erupted over textbooks in Karnataka University. Our lead story, anxiety and stress, the Indian corporate epidemic, that's what we are calling it, and it involves all of us who are the workforce of this country. And let me tell you, this report is a revelation like never before. It's called the State of Emotional Well-Being Report 2024. It has been released for the second consecutive year by One-to-One Help, an employee assistance program provider. This pan-Indian reports highlight some crucial points. That being that in 2024, over 90% of corporate employees under the age of 25 reported experiencing symptoms of anxiety compared to 67% of those over the age of 45. This report is based on extensive data. 83,000 counseling sessions, 12,000 elective screenings and over 42,000 assessments. The findings reveal that signs of depression and anxiety were more pronounced amongst individuals aged under 30 than those over 45. The reasons attributed are, amongst of course other things, relocation, career changes and relationship difficulties in their early and mid-20s. The report highlighted that compared to 2023, there has been an increase in the uptake of counseling services amongst corporate employees. Also, mental health concerns such as anxiety, depression and stress comprised 15% of the total sessions in 2024, while counseling related to workplace concerns constituted 11% of the total counseling sessions, but it's workplace relationship related discussions, whether my boss likes me, etc., which claimed the top slot, comprising 23%. Now, getting into the specifics of how genders have responded to this, so far as men are concerned, apparently 70% of counseling sessions reflected their worries about financial anxiety and also societal pressures surrounding their role as the family's breadwinner. According to the report, over 60% of relationship counseling was sought by women, reiterating the emotional burden they often bear in nurturing relationships. That mental health is one of the most important needs, which is often neglected in several workplaces. There are also some stark revelations, and that have to do with self-harm. Yes, you heard it right, self-harm. So how does one tide over mental distress? How does one negotiate through difficult situations at work? The only way out, according to the report, is an urgent need for organizations to prioritize mental health by fostering psychologically safe workplaces and training managers to identify distress and extending support to employees' dependents as well. What a moot point that is. For more on this, we are delighted to be joined by Mahua Bisht, who's CEO of One-to-One Help. Mahua, thank you so much for making the time, and this report really reflects the times that we live in, Mahua, and how do we tide over this, even as there is a huge kind of a conversation which is going on about 40 hours of work. Don't take Sundays off. There should be 90 hours of work. Personal life is not so important. But I want to ask you the first question, and which being that 90% of corporate employees under the age of 25, Mahua, reported experiencing symptoms of anxiety, compared to 67 of those over the age of 45 in the year 2024. What is ailing the young, Mahua? What has happened?
So thank you so much for having me, Sudha. I really appreciate you bringing light to this issue. I just wanted to qualify a little bit of this finding. So when we say 90% of the people who elected to come for counseling, those people under 25 actually screened positive for anxiety and depression, and 67% for those above 45, like you stated. So it is those people who've already, identified that they're in need of support, who've come for counseling and taken the screening. And amongst those, this is the prevalence of depression and anxiety. And like you rightly said, I think, when you're under 25 or even under 30, there's a lot of transitions that happen in your life. You are moving away from college, you are joining your first job, you are perhaps getting into your first serious relationship, perhaps getting married. Some people may be having children. So a lot of these transitions that happen in life happen at that age, and that may be some of the reasons for why some people are experiencing this. And I think one additional thing that I would really like to celebrate about this, even though it seems like it's a really alarming statistic, is that people are much more informed. And I think the younger generations are much more informed and much more aware, right, that I need to seek help. Earlier, you may not have been aware, I'm not sleeping so well, maybe there's something that I'm feeling anxious about. We didn't have the language for that, but now I think more people are aware, more people are seeking help. This is the result of what you're saying.
Right. I want to come to that question, but not, let me ask you another thing that, workplace related discussions, relationship, which is interpersonal, maybe. In my time, it was called, how good are you with interpersonal relationships? One thing is there that in the initial stages, maybe because you did not have a comfortable relationship with your parents, siblings, partner, husband, friends, in-laws, maybe you can't negotiate your way through work. Is that one reason that people find this, and how important it is today to kind of do this? Because the times have changed. You cannot possibly get very close to somebody. Even using the word baby is sexual harassment. In my time it wasn't. Hey sweetheart was very normal for seniors to say that to me, and I would think he's so much older, it's all right. They find it very, very kind of, objectionable if you say beta to someone. So the times have changed, is what I'm trying to reiterate here, Mahua Bisht. I'm trying to understand that how important is that when you have relationships, because there is a dichotomy. The place of work is not your personal space. You do your job and you go home. Then where is the room for having a great personal relationship, or to make it better, relationship related discussions?
Right. So I think relationship related discussions are a huge part of it, as you discussed. Coming to workplace relationships here, we not only mean, a romantic relationship, but we also may mean your relationship with your manager, with your colleagues, the people you manage. So I think that there are work is, let's face it, a huge part of our lives, right? A third of our lives that we're spending so much time there. So it makes sense that individuals are facing issues and challenges in those relationships and negotiating that. And it is a source of stress for them. And that's something that people do seem to want to work on and get better at, right? Okay. How do I have a assertive conversation with my manager? How do I ask for a better rate? How do I'm not really ready to come back to work. I've just had my baby, but I'm feeling guilty. How do I ask for more time off? Okay. So these may be some of the very normal reasons for which.
In your survey, Mahua Bisht, why is you found that people above 45 are better at it? In sense, it's not that they're devoid of stress or anxiety or panic, but then they do better. Is it because they have walked the corridors of life and work life, as it were, so they are better at it, they have better skills to, handle this, Mahua Bisht?
Thank you for that. That's a really great question. So what I would say is that more people under the age of 25 are sort of screening positive than people above the age of 45. That may be a reflection of openness to sharing this information or even taking this pre-screening or even coming in for counseling. And also, yes, we do gain resilience and ability to cope with stressors and get better and better at it once you're older. You may also have more systems of support, right? You might have your own family, your spouse's family. You may have a more supportive environment to deal with it. And yes, you may not be as alone as a young person who may have moved from their hometown to a new city for work or whatever else might be.
Right. So, I'm sorry to interject, but in both cases, I may sound like Cassandra, but then it's a double-edged sword. If you're very young, you feel, oh my God, if I'm going to speak about how my manager speaks to me, which is offensive at many levels, I may lose the job. The same fear happens to a 47-year-old who says, who's going to give me a job now, so I better kind of put my head down and work at it. You recommend that organizations to psychologically counsel, handhold not only the person who's working for you, but also their families. Let me explode the myth. It doesn't happen. Most people are working under the umbrella of fear and helplessness, and that adds to the stress even more. I have seen this happen, that one thing goes to the next. I have someone, you spoke about self-harm. There was a journalist, his editor allegedly spoke so rudely with him that he did himself in. How sad is that story? It was, one felt that what the hell, you could have spoken to people. He didn't. He just decided final exit, it is for me. How does one negotiate that, Mahua Bisht?
So that's really hard. And to your point, I think, I think we do need to do a lot more as leaders or managers, even as peers, to sensitize ourselves and educate ourselves on, hey, what are the signs of distress and how do I sensitively and empathetically encourage somebody to seek help, right? So one of the findings of our report was that 59% of manager referrals had a presence of stress because had a presence of self-harm and suicidal risk as well. So managers are at key positions to notice. They are in meetings with you every day. Your colleagues may be in meetings with you every day, and they may be in a position to notice that something is off. This person isn't making eye contact. They're not speaking up as much as they usually do. And so the more that we as employees, as companies, as teammates, as leaders and managers educate ourselves on what are the signs and symptoms of stress and how do you empathetically have a conversation, the better it will be. And the better we'd be able to catch this and hopefully...
with the job market shrinking and with everyone working on something which is bordering on paranoia and neurosis, let me tell you that if you are not making eye contact, the question often used is, what has happened? Did I say something to you? No, it's okay, sir. It's all right. No, but what's happened? Everything okay at home? Yes, sir. Then what? It's something I've done. You're already always cribbing. You're never happy. Come on. All I'm saying is that the managers need to be educated. That everyone is not the same. We are not kind of clones of each other. We react to situations differently. And I think because ours is a very feudal system where the boss is still seen to be the someone who provides us our daily bread, things have to change, Mahua Bisht. Sorry, I'm sounding, like this, but then I've seen a lot of this happening.
No, you're absolutely right, Sudha. Like, we are all different people. Today, I may be, doing great. Tomorrow, I may not. Even the
Yes.
same person may be needed to be dealt with differently at different points in their life, right? So, you're absolutely right in saying we can't treat everyone the same way. There are some power dynamics and hierarchies, of course, and that's why it's
Yeah.
important to train
All
managers
right.
on how to make themselves accessible.
All right. Before I let you go, Mahua
Sure.
Bisht, what about staring at your wife on a Sunday? Are you all for it? I am. I wish my
Sure, I'm for it, but that doesn't really come up in the data that we
right.
sort of
I mean, that was
track.
on a note where we got to work even on Sundays and not stare at each other's spouses. I would say not really
Yes.
wife, and keep it gender neutral. Mahua Bisht, what a pleasure it was
Sure.
talking to you. Thank you very much. I'm
Likewise.
sure this conversation is going to help many people, old and young. Thank you so much. The next story which is coming up, author and activist Rahul Easwar demands a National Men's Commission. Why? He will tell us. All right, there he is. He says Kerala needs a men's commission. Author and activist Rahul Easwar shall initiate a campaign to form a men's commission for men in the state of Kerala. According to Rahul, a men's commission is required, has become mandatory because of the several reasons, and primarily because the manner in which several men are falsely implicated and therefore undergo immense mental agony. He added that the campaign to form a men's commission in Kerala will be kick-started on the day of the Mahatma's martyrdom, and that being 30th of January. The author activist also added that just as there is a commission on child rights for children and a commission for women, there has to be one for men as well. The genesis of the demand for a men's commission began when Rahul Easwar was informed that there are no provisions to file a case on the complaint filed by actor Honey Rose, who had alleged that Rahul Easwar had caused her immense mental agony. This was after she had filed a complaint against businessman Bobby Chemanur. Rose alleged that Rahul Easwar had made inappropriate comments on social media platforms where he allegedly commented on her dressing inappropriately. Honey Rose had said, and I am quoting her here, "Rahul Easwar, my family and I are going through a lot of mental stress. You are one of the main reasons for that. I filed a complaint against the blatant abuse that was made against me on a public platform. The police found my complaint to be valid and registered a case, and the court remanded the person I filed the complaint against." When Rahul Easwar was informed that he had no legal recourse to the complaint filed by Honey Rose, he said, and I am quoting him here, "You are all targeting me because I don't have a commission to go to, right? Hounding me in front of the media and in front of the public, knowing that I have nowhere to go to complain and defend myself. Often the men in this country are legally orphans. Our country has courts and human rights commission. Then why a women's commission? Aren't women human? What I'm saying is that there should be a women's commission, because even though women can go to court and police stations, they have their own problems. Child Rights Commission is to solve the problems of children. Similarly, there should be a men's commission. It is because of its absence that they are able to hunt down Rahul Easwar and others. Even if I'm jailed, this stand for men and families will continue." He says that the campaign will be carried out. Rahul Easwar, of course, met with woman Chandy's son, Chandy Woman, and submitted a petition and held discussions with MLA Elders Kunnapilli, and has been assured that the demand for men's commission can be introduced as a private bill in the Assembly. In the aftermath of the techie suicide in Bengaluru, there have been several voices that have highlighted a need to secure men's rights in India. Let's debate. Rahul Easwar, author and activist himself, on the show this evening, and also joining is Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj, equal rights activist and director, Ekam Nyay Foundation on the South Indian. A very, very warm welcome to both of you. First up, Rahul. Rahul, is the trigger only the Honey Rose case, if I may ask you? Because you were very clear when you came on my show and you said that, Sudha, I do not know. I only counseled her. It's up to her to take it or not take it. But is that the genesis or the trigger?
Sudhaji, two things. One, I am no one to advise Honey Rose and no one to counsel, but this was a social audit and feedback. Second, Honey Rose issue is not the trigger. There are much more cases. I am a huge ardent admirer of Deepika ji, who has consistently taken up our cases. There are three issues. One, men are being unfairly targeted, and a BBC report mentioning India's false rape case points out that 53.2% of rape cases in a particular time period were found to be false. That's one. Second, there are a large number of real life experiences, lived experiences of men who faces persecution and has no one to rely upon. And there are multiple cases where people are easily targeting men for their sake. Third, our demand is we need a men's commission on the lines of youth commission and women's commission in Kerala, so that men can approach, men can really connect to people, men can really connect and get some sort of a legal help. Thankfully, MLA Eldos Unnapalli has taken it upon himself and he's finished their draft. More MLAs are joining. I'm meeting with some MLAs or MPs in Kerala. We want to start a progress in Kerala, because Kerala was one of the first states in India to constitute a youth commission. Indian government only constituted last year, 2024. So similarly, Kerala should come forward such a positive, protection legislation, so that it will be inspiring for other Indian states to follow this suit.
All right. Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj, I've seen the film India's Sons, by the way. Welcome to the show. And I want to ask you that, India struggled a lot, when there were dowry deaths and when women were burnt alive because they could not get enough dowry. There was harassment, there was beating, domestic violence. We've seen it through. There was sexual harassment, in my time, men would just get away and put the blame on you and say that you were inviting trouble. Not me, but then a lot of women, I've seen my peers go through it. Now, the situation, according to what Rahul just spoke and what you have been speaking about on social media platform, I follow you very, very sharply, and I see that things have changed, Deepika Narayan. What made the change, Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj? What happened to the legal system, which today, much like what is said in America, that if you have a divorce, the man suffers a lot. I do not know how true that is, but I want you, in the Indian perspective, when did this change happen? The flip, as it were.
Thank you so much for organizing this discussion. First of all, Sudha, it is very rare that we see media pick up these issues. Things have changed after Atul's case, but thanks to you and my regards to you for watching my documentary film. I think things had been boiling for a long, long time. It is just that it has now become a discussion across India, because I think people have seen a lot. Just like you're saying, there was, endless number of cases where women were subjected to dowry deaths, they were burnt alive. We have come to a situation where men are being burnt alive, where men are being murdered by their wives, they are killing themselves, writing 14-page, 20-page suicide note and saying that it is not just their spouse, it is not just the female partner who has harassed them, but the system plays along. So that we are in 2024, we, I think, are the only nation in the world probably which has absolutely zero provisions on gender-based violence which are there, which are gender neutral. Rape laws, stalking laws, outraging modesty, physical and mental cruelty, domestic violence act, sexual harassment at workplace. Somehow India is thinking that men can never be victims to it. And just today, Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court has quashed a false molestation case that was filed against a man, a false sexual harassment case that was filed against a man who was himself slapped by a woman first. He filed a complaint first, but of course his complaint cannot be filed under any gender-based provision. And woman back at him with a false
I get that. So I get that, Deepika. You say that there are some legal loopholes which which need to be corrected, and I wonder how long that will take. Of course, no one is saying that, much like what the Bengaluru techie said, that you need to take the ultimate step. I think that is absurd. That itself is both a crime and a sin. It's a crime and a sin. Yeah, but the thing, because the thing is that is never the way out. There are other ways, Deepika. This is not the way. I will not even, it is heart-rending, really. Rahul, I want to ask you, Rahul, at that press conference that you had where the police said that, when in the context of Honey Rose, that you do not have any legal recourse. Why is that? For people to understand this. I am not even saying that you harassed, her, because you may, but although you did say that, you did comment on the way she dresses, which I think is a no-no now. That day also I told you, we had a big discussion and you said, yeah, sure, you have respect for actors and everyone. I mean, but the point is, why is it that you could not have legal recourse where you could say that this one, which means that the law supports those who complain about harassment. Like I am harassed also. Yeah, go on.
So that's two submissions. One, Honey Rose even went to the extent of saying that I am a part of organized crime, and I've been pushing her to the verge of suicide, in spite of the Kerala's Chief Minister, Youth Commission, Women's Commission, police, media, all supporting her. I said I am giving you a social criticism and a feedback, a respectful feedback. There is not even one word I said wrong, but this is a difference of opinion and feedback. Many organizations, including the Women's Commission and Youth Commission, have called for my arrest. So I asked them very respectfully. I respect all these commission. I have been a part of Youth Commission. So I said, where is the recourse I have? If I have such an issue, we already have courts, but still we have Human Rights Commission. Even after having Human Rights Commission, we have Women's Commission. Why? They are doing absolutely fantastic job. Similarly, if a men's commission is there, we can go there, approach, faster and swifter justice for legal mentoring, counseling, all these kind of things are there. Even though it's in a Kerala context, at least a huge number of false rape cases, false molestation cases were given to MP, MLAs and all, which all proved to be absolutely false. So these kind of things happen. For example, just like Honey Rose, Kerala's big star, Nivin Pauly. One lady alleged that Nivin Pauly raped her in Dubai. But thankfully for Nivin Pauly, at that point of time, he was proved to be in Kochi because of his ticket and because of his travel.
Oman
Later,
Chandi,
that girl changed
the respectable Oman Chandi. Remember that solar...
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I remember that case so well. So I get you that, we need to have a forum where these, but then isn't it, Deepika, in the realm of legal? I mean, why bring gender into it is my whole point. Like if Rahul is harassed, he can complain. I am harassed, I can complain. If I foist, so what I'm trying to say is that why does it have to be a gender specific thing? I wonder.
See, Sudha, in the current scheme of things, people are just so confused on what do we do to give some semblance of hope, some semblance of justice to this endless number of men who are suffering. And that's why we are asking for a commission, for a platform where men can also go, just like Rahul said. Now, right now, I'm in Mumbai. Downstairs, there's a very poor man standing. He was in jail for 7.5 years in a false rape case. The guy, his life has been played with, but has zero compensation from the government or the judiciary or the police who falsely, tried him for a crime that he did not commit. So there is no platform that is looking at the sufferings of men in the country. Are they not the citizens? They are the biggest taxpayers. We are not saying that you take away the rights or the laws that have been given to women, but we are saying and we are questioning where is the level playing field? Where
no,
is
but our
the
society,
that we constantly
Deepika,
talk
that's
about?
what. But Deepika and Rahul, you should also answer that. Deepika, first you. But we are not a level playing society. The world is not a level playing. But you and I had to suffer for centuries to even sit next to a man. We did not have voting rights in many cases. In America, the voting rights came later. I mean, I didn't have the right, if I'm having my period, to kind of walk out and go to my workplace. I had to be in a ghungat. I cannot possibly show any part of my body. It's not a level playing field. Now, all I'm saying is that there is an argument that I represent the other gender, that is women. Of course, there are 3 genders, woman. So the point is that I have suffered for so long. It will take, the law recognized that I was vulnerable and I needed support. Sati, child marriage, I suffered. I was burnt alive. So I am saying today that won't it take a long time before the law, says that, okay, I have to now move a little.
How long? So are you saying that the same number of men need to die, need to be burnt, need to be subjected to domestic
no one should die.
Can I point out one thing?
Yeah, sure. Rahul, come in, Rahul.
Sudaji, the first line of the Men's Commission draft we have given is saying that we totally accept and respect the centuries of fight women had to secure their rights.
Bravo.
We totally endorse those rights. And the first question is, who suffers more today? And we unambiguously say it is the woman who is still suffering more, almost 10 times of what men suffers. But only humble request is, even if one man is suffering, we need to give them solace, because that is the greatness of our law. So this is complementary to Women's Commission, never competing with Women's Commission. This is and one more interesting thing, the Men's Commission, one of the important proposals we have given is a very important or the most significant role to a woman. A woman member should be having a very leadership role in the Men's Commission, and she has the right to either point out or validate if it is a false complaint or a genuine complaint.
Absolutely.
So it is a very balanced approach that we are having.
Okay, a very, very important issue, and thank you very much, Rahul Easwar. As always, Deepika Narayan Bharadwaj, what a pleasure it was to have you on my show. Thank you very much, and your documentary was fantastic, yet again. I'm going to take a break right now, but see you on the other side, and I'll tell you the political story. Rift in Karnataka BJP Widens, former Minister B. Sriramulu threatens to quit.
Your promise is IGI certified. Your legacy is IGI certified. Your ambition is IGI certified. Your diamond is IGI certified. Authentic moments need authentic diamonds. Get your diamonds IGI certified. 14-step grading process. 50 years of trust. IGI Trust Certified.
एक्सरसाइज करा करा के मेरी जान निकाल देगा तो तेरा और हमारे बिजनेस का ध्यान कौन रखेगा?
अपने साथ अपनों की लाइफ फिट रखने का परफेक्ट प्लान कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस टर्म प्लान। कैनरा HSBC लाइफ इंश्योरेंस, प्रॉमिसेस का पार्टनर।
That's the big political story today in the South Indian. You know, it's almost like Monday, rift widens in the Congress party in Karnataka. Tuesday, BJP. So it's like every alternate day. No kidding. Look at this. Rift in Karnataka BJP widens. Sriramulu now threatens to quit. The rift seems to be widening, like I said, with former Minister B. Sriramulu threatening to quit the party. Addressing a press conference, Sriramulu said that at a party meet, Radha Mohan Agarwal, who is in charge of the core committee, singled him out as the reason for the defeat in Sandur. Now, Sandur is a constituency which the BJP has never won, and this time around also its candidate, Bangaru Hanumantu, lost against Congress by over 9,000 votes. According to Sriramulu, Radha Mohan Das Agarwal accused him of doing little to help Hanumantu register a win in Sandur. Listen in.
Radha Mohan Agarwal ಅವರು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆಗಿನ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸಹ್ಯವಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾನೋ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಮೇಲೆ ಉಗುಳ್ತಾನೋ ಆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ದ, ರಾಮುಲು ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂಡೂರು ಸೋಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನೀನೇ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಆರೋಪಣೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಆರೋಪಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ದಿನ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಕೂಡ ಕೊನೆಯ ದಿನದ ತನಕ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಶಿಗ್ಗಾವಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಭರತ್ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿ ಅವರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಂತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಉಳಿದಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ದಿನಗಳು ನಾನು ಸಂಡೂರಲ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ತಿಳಿಸಿದ ನಂತರ ಕೂಡ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಡಬಲ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಈ ರೀತಿ ನೀವು ಆರೋಪಣೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ತಪ್ಪಿದಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾಗ್ಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ನೀವೇ ಸಂಡೂರು ಸೋಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಅದು ಸರಿಯಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋಂಥದ್ದು ನಾನು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ವಾದಿಸಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ, ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಳಂಕಿಲ್ಲಾರಂತೆ ನನ್ನ ನೋವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ 2 ಬಾರಿ ಸೋತೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಾನು ಲೋಕಸಭೆ ಸೋತೀನಿ, ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆ ಕೂಡ ಸೋತೋಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೋವು ಅಂತ ಐತೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಗಾಯದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ್ರಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎದ್ದು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಎದ್ದು ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ನಾಯಕರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಬಸವರಾಜ ಬೊಮ್ಮಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಅಶೋಕ್ ಅವರಿದ್ರು.
Now there's also speculation that this outburst by Sriramulu could be the result of a fallout between Sriramulu and his one-time friend and mining baron, Gali Janardhan Reddy. This outburst also comes at a time when the Karnataka BJP is already facing a divide, with Yatnal and Ramesh Jarrakioli having launched an open rebellion against State Party President B.Y. Vijendra. And it also seems that efforts are being made by the BJP to keep the house in order, with senior party leaders R. Ashoka and Baswaraj Bommai likely to hold talks with Sriramulu to appease him. BJP National President J.P. Nadda asking Sriramulu to come to Delhi, sit for talks and explain his grievances is one indication, isn't it? Now tell me something, will BJP be able to tide over this week, rather months-long crisis or not? I mean, when can we stop talking about this story? Let's debate. Anand Gurumurthy, spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka, has joined us, and Ramakrishna Upadhyay, senior journalist, is also with you. Very warm welcome to both of you. Ramakrishna Upadhyay, you know, old friendships gone sour. I remember in Ballari, which is touching Andhra Pradesh, or, you know, so the both of them being bosom pals, Sriramulu also, and the Reddy brothers, and then one of the younger brothers, younger Reddy, saying that he sold all my property, and they fell through. Am I right? Now, what do you think is this? I know it's ancient history, but so am I. So, you know, one understands these things. Ramakrishna, I want to understand, is the anger of Sriramulu against, Mr. Agarwal? Is his anger against B.Y. Vijendra, who kept quiet throughout it? Is his anger towards Reddy brothers? Where is his anger going, and what for?
Well, Sudha, before that, I would like to make one small observation. You were saying on Monday it's a rift in BJP, on Tuesday it's a rift in Congress, and also, you know, on Wednesday it's a rift in JDS. GT Devagowda has just issued a statement, sarcastically mentioning about how Kumaraswamy is trying to hoist his son as the state president. And he has also said, nobody has any guts to throw me out of the party. So, you know, there is dissidence everywhere. It seems that all 3 major political parties in Karnataka are at war with among themselves, within themselves, actually. So this has been happening across the board. And as far as I think Sriramulu is concerned, see, he is on the most weakest wicket, because he lost the Lok Sabha election and then subsequently also lost the assembly elections. And I think, after Janardhan Reddy returned to Bellary, he's trying to assert himself. So he was out of Bellary for 12 years, 12 long years, and he's back there. And he didn't do anything to get the, party candidate elected. Why didn't he do? Why didn't he work hard to ensure that in
So are they picking on him? Are they picking on Sriramulu, do you think?
Absolutely.
But then the so this is what I mean.
Sriramulu has become a soft target for all of them.
Yeah.
Because he was somebody who was very highly regarded in the party.
He's from the Valmiki Nayaka community, and he was seen as the poster boy at one time. I've read reams and reams.
And even had CM's aspirations.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me bring Anand here. Anand, hi, nice to see you. Anand, this rift that is there every day, let me tell you, and there is something, Yatnal calling Vijendra names, Vijendra saying, you keep quiet, coming to Delhi, and now this open kind of rebellion in a cadre-based party, which is more disciplined compared to any other party. This is what we've grown up, listening. What has happened? I mean, when do you think this will stop? I mean, only when the state president is changed, but then the state president will remain. This is another thing I've read. Shivraj Chauhan is saying we will make changes. What's going on in your party, Anand?
So, thank you for calling us the most disciplined party. That is a very important word you said, and that's why I'm smiling. It happens when we are having a democratic.
No longer disciplined party.
No, we are still, sir. Okay, but what happens is, what is happening in our party is that churn that happens during a democratic process that goes on. Like we are having elections going on within our party, both at the district level, mandal level, and then at the state level, and at the national level, everything is going on. So this creates a lot of rift, and amongst leaders also, as Ramakrishna sir explained, there will be certain issues which might crop up like this. But Sriramulu sir is still a tall leader. He's a well-respected leader in Karnataka and in Karnataka BJP
So it seems like a
so
churn.
Similarly, certain things that he told about a national leader who had visited. He himself, Mr. Radhamohan, has been in charge of 2 elections and he is well-respected leader. So there are certain things that have gone in, and it has come out in the press also. It should not have come out in the press in such a big way from a very.
But come on, Anand. When in doubt, you shoot us.
He has expressed his concern. And our other
No. It seems like a churn in the Mahabharata, the 18-day battle, the churn, someone lying on a bed of arrows and stuff like that. It is not so epic or so noble. The fight is open. The fight is out in the open. Okay, so you said that Sriramulu sir is a great leader. Let me ask you. I'm here writing the modern Mahabharata. I accept it, Anand.
You are the modern Vyasa. Okay.
Vyasa, yeah. So I'm asking you, Anand. I'm asking you. You said Sriramulu is a very, very tall leader. What do you think about Yatnal sir?
See, everybody, including Mr. Yatnal or Vijendra Yediyurappa.
Then how are you a cadre-based party?
One minute.
Dichotomy.
Let me put the records straight. Okay, you took only 2 names: Sriramulu, Yatnal. You didn't take so many other leaders, Sadan, Gowda, and all other people are there. Yediyurappa. So many people are there. Along with that, see, our party principle is Karyakarta is the most important person. Okay, and you just took names of leaders. I am telling you, including the leaders, every Karyakarta is important in BJP.
Right.
I'm not telling just an idealistic statement. This is there within the party.
Yeah.
So
because there
this
is nothing.
Behavior, wait.
No, I can't.
Behavior of everybody.
Anand,
wait.
You are a disciplined party, so please show that you are part of a disciplined party.
Please let me tell.
Let's extend our courtesy to Ramakrishna Upadhyay sir, who's been waiting. No, I will, because I am conducting it. I am the Sutradhar of this Mahabharata.
Okay, do whatever you want.
Not whatever I want. No, I'm sorry. That's not correct. Yeah, thank
that's
you.
Not the way.
Ramakrishna Upadhyay, I want to ask you that,
thank you very much, ma'am.
what is it that is really kind of, ailing the BJP, as it were?
You see, the party which is supposed to be most disciplined has become the most indisciplined party, I would say. And this has been allowed to go on for so long.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the BJP central leadership has not come down heavily on all those who have been creating chaos. I mean, this has been on for more than a year. Now, I mean, the elections happened in 23 May, and since then, it's just 19 months. And BJP, the internal intestine war has gone on and on. And Basan Goda Yatnal on one side and Ramesh Jarkioli on the other. Every other day they're making, all kinds of statements, and nobody is stopping them. And when Radha Mohan Das came, they didn't even attend the meeting. Look at the temerity of these people. They're not even respecting their own central leadership.
Right.
So it shows that, Radha Mohan is among the weakest, observers, I think, any political party has said. He has no control over anything. And when he comes and says something, nobody seems to respect him. At yesterday's meeting, C.T. Ravi, in fact, said, you come once in a blue moon and you don't understand what's happening here. Is it possible for somebody like Ravi to say something like this to a central observer? I think it's high time the BJP put a very strong, observer here. I know Mr. Arun Jaitley used to be an observer those days. And you have to have, to tackle this issue, they need somebody very, very strong. Right. And initially, I think, the Home Minister himself has to take charge and, give them a little charty. Otherwise, it is going haywire. The
So
party
don't you
is,
think it impacted their performance in the 3 by-elections? Going
Absolutely.
forward, how are they going to really put up a defense against the Congress party, which is not going great guns, by the way?
No, in fact, I think some of the MLAs, I mean, see, many of them are still with Yediyurappa because they know he's the tallest leader in the party. And among the MLAs who attended the meeting, many of them said, look, the way that we are fighting against each other, we are not able to take on the Congress. The Congress also has innumerable problems, but because of the internal problems within our own party, we are not able to take them on. So it's high time that, the indisciplined people are disciplined. So this has been talked for a long time, but nothing seems to have happened. And Congress seems to be getting away. I mean, they have their own problems, and you hear, the Siddharamaiah faction and the DK's faction going hammer and tongs at each other.
Right.
But BJP.
Yeah, but before I let you go, Ramakrishna, I want to know that he's such a tall leader of the Valmiki Nayaka community. I mean, it's not, one of the greatest leaders, tribal leaders. So I want to ask you, will sidelining him, because we know that sidelining communities has, you had to pay a price. Will they have to pay a price for sidelining this man, or what has come out in the press of asking him to actually, in what Zenzi says, sit down? I mean, does it matter?
I think it will be a big mistake that the BJP will be doing because Sriramulu, remember, he had a party of his own, BRS.
Yes,
called
true.
BRS at one point of time, and he had 5 MLAs who got elected because of him. So he might be weak right now, but he's still among the tallest leaders in the community. The
Right.
Valmiki community has about 5-6% of the population.
True.
Which is a small number.
Yeah, and we have to-
We cannot treat Sriramulu like this.
Yeah.
And somebody like Janardhan Reddy treating him like this. Who is Janardhan Reddy?
Right.
I mean, they should control people who have, no standing in the party. He was a pariah in the party because of all the scandals that were, he was involved in, and he's taken back. So it's the worst thing that the BJP has done, taking him back.
All right.
You always go roughshod over leaders like Sriramulu.
All right.
So unless they have a proper strategy, I think the BJP will go down, and they will not be able to win in 2028 if this continues.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Ramakrishna Upadhyay. Thanks are also due to Anand for joining us on this broadcast. And the next story is really horror of horrors. Horrific murder in Telangana. A woman was killed, then chopped into little pieces and then cooked in a pressure cooker. What have we become? All right, horror of horrors, murdered, chopped and cooked in a pressure cooker. That's the woman who once existed but now does not. There are crimes and crimes, but there are some crimes which make us question the collective conscience of the times that we live in. In one such gruesome incident, which has been reported from Telangana's Meerpet, an ex-serviceman killed his wife, then proceeded to chop her body into little pieces and then cook them in a pressure cooker before dumping them into a lake. According to the police, the accused, Gurumurthy, a 45-year-old male, native of Prakasam district in Andhra Pradesh, briefly worked for the army and currently works as an outsourced security guard with the DRDO in Kanchanbag. He lived in a rented house with his wife, Venkata Madhavi, and 2 children in Meerpet. As per locals, the couple had been having frequent arguments for the past several days. Madhavi went missing on 18th of January and Murthy informed the same to her family members who had lodged a missing persons complaint with the Meerpet police. Murthy then accompanied his in-laws to the police station for lodging the complaint and pretended to be completely oblivious of the whereabouts of his wife. He was also supported the police in searching for her. However, after being suspicious of Murthy's actions, the police decided to detain him for questioning and he confessed to the killing during interrogation. A murder case has been booked and an investigation is underway. Joining me to speak more on this is my colleague Noor Mohammed. Noor, कितनी खतरनाक मतलब ये वारदात है, क्राइम तो होते रहते हैं बट ये जो है मतलब इतना गुस्सा, अपने गुस्से पे काबू नहीं कर पाए ये शख्स जो है और इतनी बुरी तरह से, थोड़ा विस्तार से बताइए कि क्या कुछ हुआ नूर।
देखिए ये घटना जो हुई है हैदराबाद नहीं बल्कि पूरे देश को हिला कर रख दिया है। जिस तरह से गुरुमूर्ति ने अपनी बीवी का कत्ल किया है। पहले गुरुमूर्ति अपने बच्चों को जो है वो अपने ससुराल को भेज देता है, उसके बाद वो अपनी बीवी से अपना गुस्सा निकालने के लिए सबसे पहले उसका कत्ल करता है। कत्ल ही नहीं किया बल्कि टुकड़े टुकड़े करने के बाद वो अपने घर में 10 किलो का कुकर लाता है। कुकर में पूरी तरह उसको गलाने के बाद उसका जो भी गला हुआ जो गोश्त है वो पूरी तरह सुखाता है। सुखाने के बाद वो ग्राइंडर करके यहाँ तक के वो पूरे शरीर का पाउडर बना दिया है। देखिए पाउडर तो आसपास के तालाबों में यहीं पे जाकर उसने पानी में मिला दिया है। अब पुलिस बार बार ये तहकीकात कर रही है कि आखिर गुरुमूर्ति की साजिश में गुरुमूर्ति अकेला था या कोई और इसके साथ मिले हुए थे। अब फिलवक्त पुलिस ढूंढते जा रही है। देखिए पहले से ससुराल को ये शक था कि गुरुमूर्ति बार बार अपनी बीवी पर हमला करता है, अपनी बीवी पर सताता है, बहुत सारे तकलीफें देता है। कहीं ना कहीं गुरुमूर्ति के ऊपर उसके ससुराल वालों ने पुलिस को कंप्लेंट दिया था। देखिए इसमें सबसे बड़ी साजिश गुरुमूर्ति ने अपनी बीवी की मिसकेस दर्ज करवाई थी, मगर ससुराल वालों ने खुद गुरुमूर्ति के खिलाफ फिर जब पुलिस में कंप्लेंट दिया तो पुलिस अपने हिसाब से जब जांच पड़ताल करी, जब उसके पूरी तरह छानबीन की तो गुरुमूर्ति एक के बाद दूसरे अपने पूरा जो जुर्म किया था वो एक्सेप्ट करते गया। देखिए पुलिस के सामने सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये है कि अब इस क्राइम को एक दूसरे की कड़ी से जोड़ना बाकी है। देखिए गुरुमूर्ति ने कत्ल करने के बाद जो टुकड़े थे वो प्रेशर कुकर में गलाकर उसने बाज़ाब्ता सुखा के पाउडर बना दिया है। अब ये पूरे कड़ियाँ हैदराबाद पुलिस जोड़ते जा रही है। फिलवक्त जो गुरुमूर्ति पुलिस की कस्टडी में है, उसने जो भी जुर्म किया था वो एक के बाद एक एक्सेप्ट करते जा रहा है। देखिए गुरुमूर्ति ये कत्ल करने की सबसे बड़ी रीज़न यही था कि अपने खुशहाल जिंदगी में कहीं ना कहीं वो अपनी बीवी पे शक करता था। बीवी पे शक की वजह से ही ये सब कुछ हुआ है। ये अभी तक गुरुमूर्ति का स्टेटमेंट है पुलिस के सामने।
What a terrible crime that is. Thank you, Nur Mohammed, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. And the next story which is coming up, a row has erupted over textbooks at Karnataka University. A major controversy has erupted over Karnataka University's textbook syllabus. You know, textbooks have always been at the center of several controversies in Karnataka. There have been in the past many controversies, and the recent one, this has happened in Dharwad over the syllabus for first semester undergraduate students. The syllabus allegedly includes content that disrupts Indian unity, criticizes the Sangha Parivar, talks about the construction of the Ram Mandir as pilgrimage to Hindus like Mecca and Medina, and revered figures such as Bharat Mata and Bhuvaneshwari Devi. There are also allegations that material promotes communal hatred by portraying Bharat Mata as a deity exclusive to Hindus and repeatedly using terms like Sangha Parivar to criticize the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangha. In chapter 4, instead of calling Bharat Mata, Hindu Mata has been used. Slogans like Bharat Mata Ki Jai has been used as slogan of one community and has been forced onto other communities. Senior advocate and social activist Arun Joshi has stepped in and written to the Vice Chancellor of Karnataka University and the Governor demanding the immediate withdrawal of the syllabus. He is warned of filing a criminal case if action is not taken. And with that, we come to the end of the South Indian, the show, not the South Indian, but the end of the show. Thank you so much for watching. Namaskara.
Start with the end in mind. You need to know where you want to reach. Every morning that we wake up, we are exercising our choice. The destiny is decided. The results are known that I'm going to win. Life of a goalkeeper is something which has always intrigued me. When you come into a stadium, this is the highest level of pressure. When I set out to do something, I decide in my mind that failure is not an option.
What you feel very strongly about, those are the stories to tell.
I have a mind which is absolutely restless. Mind and body are entangled sensations. That brings me back to golf. It's an amazing game.
This is not a perfect game. You only learn from them.
If you have a formula to a success, then you can replicate it.
I feel this is my first step. I'm starting now.
Winner is first born in the mind. I think, therefore I am. We are all about our mind.
highest airfield in India and one of the highest airfield in the world. It is the most beautiful airfield in India. There's no aircraft that cannot land on this airfield.
This will be the highest airfield in India and 5th in the world.
This particular runway will cater for most of the military aircraft, fighters and transport landing.
A strategic edge to the forces, deterrent for our neighboring countries.
Jai Hind.
Yes, 100% completion. TV9 News and your News9 Plus is the first team here.